What's up, guys? Remember when I used to make videos? Petridge Farm remembers. But something I've been doing while well, not making videos is playing other games. One of which, made by Riot Games with guns and many characters, is Teamfight Tactics. Yeah, I've been playing Teamfight Tactics a lot. Here are my stats to show off, not because it proves my point, but because I want to show it off. But two things I learned from playing a lot of Teamfight Tactics is expected value and variance. Now, I'm not going to actually talk about Teamfight Tactics, but these ideas apply pretty well into CSGO and can help you make better decisions and help you get into a better mindset about the game in general. This isn't really anything about mechanics, about aim, or strategy, or like whatever. This is more about like just ideas. And maybe if you demo review or like watch another demo or watch a game at all, you might be able to spot effective value by comparing what someone else did to what you did. And these actions can be really just anything: util usage, you know, how you set up a default, should you push the smoke or not, things like that. So I'll give you a really simple example just to illustrate my point. You're playing B on Inferno on CT side, and you hear all the T's get banana control, and at a minute 30, you burn your smoke, right? You're like, I don't want you coming in. You stay way back there, and I'm gonna be over here. Now, the key factor in this is that you're burning a smoke, and there is still a minute 30 on the clock, and by the time this smoke dissipates, it's gonna be like 1 minute 10 on the clock maybe. And if there's still a minute 10 on the clock and then you hear two smokes coming down B, well, you're down a smoke, so you have not a lot of counterplay. And what this smoke really did was just not have them execute onto you in the middle of the round. And the value of that is not terribly high, right? There aren't too many times where T's are just gonna banana control, you know, like 10 seconds later, full on B execute and commit. Like, that's just not a common thing that's going to happen. Now let's take our second example, and let's say there are 30 seconds left in the round. Or let's be a little more realistic, let's just say 40. Let's say there are 40 seconds left on the round. And then you smoke the entrance to banana. This is high value, right? The EV, expected value, on this play, on this action, is very high, right? 40 seconds left. They're running out of time. The T's are running out of time, and they need to, you know, hit a bomb site. You throwing the smoke down means that they have to execute through a smoke to have like a good amount of time to, you know, throw their util, get onto the bomb site, take the fights, and then plant the bomb. And of course, as the timer runs even more and more down, the higher value this smoke will become, right? If you somehow, some way can throw a smoke at 30 seconds left, this is crushing, right? This is a crushing move for the T's, because you just sit in front of the smoke, and you might even want to play anti. You can play at the very edge of it so that when the T's try to push along the wall here, they get stuck on your body, but you can still see, right? Once flashes go off, you can start turning, and you get the easiest multi-frag of your life, right? That's high value. You know they're coming. They have to, otherwise they just lose the round by doing nothing. And you can capitalize on it very easily. Whereas if you throw this, you know, very early into the round, you're not accomplishing much, because there's more than enough time for the T's to just wait, sit, and be like, I'm good. I'm just gonna sit here. You burn the smoke. I'm gonna come back later. So that's expected value. Now, the second topic I was going to mention is variance. And variance is the factor quality of being different or inconsistent. And here's the formula for variance. And as you can see, S stands... No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. So variance is a topic that's more inclined about climbing the ladder, or climbing solo queue, for example. Now, variance obviously applies to your teammates and your opponents, right? How good are your teammates? How good are your opponents? In a game like Counter-Strike, where you may or may not be queuing with people all the time, there's going to be variance in what your teammates can do, how they play, what kind of player they are. And the same thing goes for your opponents, right? How good are your opponents at playing off of random teammates? How good are they at, let's say, counter util, executes, map control, taking raw aim duels? How good is their opper? Stuff like that. And basically, because of the variance in what your teammates and opponents are doing, or how they are skilled, can lead to wildly different games, even if you are doing the same thing on the same map with even some of the same teammates, right? I typically queue up with 1 to 2 other people, and so because of that, there's less variance in our game because we have a consistent group of people. But there is always going to be those random teammates that, sometimes they're really, really good and just win every aim duel in the world, and I'm like, okay, cool. Other times they don't know how to throw an arch smoke on Inferno, and I'm just like, how do you? Excuse me. So that's that's variance in a nutshell. You'll get teammates sometimes that can win every aim duel in the world, and other times they don't know how to smoke arch properly. And they leave huge gaps. That was actually a decent smoke, but that's not the point. The 40-20-40 concept is an idea revolving around solo queue and applies to people more and more the less they queue with people, or when they queue with fewer amounts of people, it'll apply more and more. And what that is 40% of the games you play, you just win, right? The other team is like, they don't know what an M4 is. They don't know how to stop your rushes. You just swing on this guy CT and kill him 10 out of 10 rounds, and they're just like, all right, you just win 16-4, and you're like, all right, cool. The other 40 in this 40-20-40 setup is the opposite, right? It's the flip side. They're destroying you. Whatever you do doesn't work, right? You try to rush banana with 2 flashes. If you see like the Kenny strat number whatever, the one on Inferno, you try doing this strat, and the opera always gets the car somehow and sprays 2 down every round. Now that middle 20 is the percent that you can control and win. That 20% is 20% of the games that you play where you are the deciding factor, or you have the greatest chance of turning it into a win or loss, right? There are games where you'll play and it feels like, I just needed to win like 4 of these rounds, which to be fair is a lot, but you could say like, if I just won this one round, I would have reset their eco, and then we would have won 3 more. And it's those 20 games that it's up to you. You gotta step up. Obviously, the more consistent player you are, the more this 20% moves into the 40% where you just auto win, right? So maybe if you're like smurfing, for example, instead of every game being 40-20-40 odds of winning, losing, or winning being the decided factor and losing respectively, maybe the odds are more like 55, 5, and 40, or maybe 65, 5, and 30, right? The variance will change based on the skill level on you, your teammates, and your opponents. And once you really internalize the 40-20-40 specifically, you'll really just be okay with losing matchmaking and losing pugs and losing scrims and matches and whatever else it is. But again, you have to internalize that 40-20-40, especially for those of you that play Valorant. And well, if you lose, you lose. What are you gonna do? So anyway, thanks for watching, and like the video if you like the video. Yeah. about it.